Hello everyone. So this is the first video of module 3. Here we are going to see about deadlocks. So first we will see system module. System module consists of like all the resources in it. So the resources may be CPU, memory, input output devices, registers, all those things required for execution of a process. So resource type may change, or resource type can be given with the name R. So resource types will be from R1, R2 till Rm, where each resource type is of R of I. So if R is a resource and we have m number of resources, we'll consider for one time or the process which is executing at one particular time called I. So R of I will be having Wi of instances. So when the user wants to utilize these resources, there are three process or the procedure to follow. First one is requesting for the resources, then using of those resources. After usage, the process should release the resources. Next one is deadlock characteristics. So deadlock is a condition where the process, like the multiple process executing inside the system, may end up without doing so, like without completing their execution. That is the condition where the process or processors will go under deadlock. Means the process, it may be a one process or n number of process, end up waiting for other resources and could not complete its execution. The first deadlock can arise in multiple conditions. The one condition is mutual exclusion. Only one process at a time can use those resources. So if the process is allowing multi-users to use one resource, then the process can end in deadlock. Hold and wait. If the process holding at least one resource and it is waiting to acquire additional resources, then held by if consider there is one process P0 which is holding the resource R0 but waiting for the resource R1 which is already with the process P1, then it may cause to, or it may leads to deadlock. No preemption. If the resource can be released only voluntarily by the process holding it after the process has completed the task, then if the process is utilizing non-preemption method, then the next process will wait until this process is executed. But what if this process is waiting for the is required with the resource which the process is waiting for next execution? So this may leads to deadlock. Next one is circular wait. It is like there are multiple processes waiting for each other in a circular queue, and the resources is held by each and every process which may be required by other process. This makes a deadlock condition to arise. Resource allocation graph is one of the graphical or pictorial representation of how the resource is allocated to the process. So we have multiple we have resource and process as the entities, and we have two type of edges, which means requesting for a resource and allocating for the resource. If the process is there is an edge from the entity process to resource, the direction of from process to resource, it means requesting for the resources. And if you draw a direction edge which is from the resource to the process, it means assignment of resource to that process. So two entities are process and request. The process entity consists of P1 to Pn set of processors, and request may be from R1 to Rm resource types. So here we have a graphical representation how your process resource is shown. So a process is an active entity, so it is shown in a oval way, and the resource is a passive entity which is utilized by process itself, it is not doing any task. So it is represented by a square or a rectangle, and how many resources it has. Consider if you have a register as a resources, and in the register you have 4 instances of registers. So the instances are written inside the bigger resource as smaller squares, which represent one main resource as multiple instances. So if I write a directing edge from the process to resource, it means it is requesting edge. If the edge is from, or the direction is from resource to process, then it is response edge. So here we have an example of resource allocation graph. P1, P2, P3 are the process, R1, R2, R3 and R4 are the process, requests. So P1 is requesting for R1, where R1 is allocated to P2, P2 is requesting for R3, R3 is allocated to P3, and R2 is allocated, like each instance from R2 is allocated to P1 and P2. This is how response graph is written for the process and resources. Resource allocation graph with deadlock. And see, if you have multiple circles or multiple circular queues from the response to or resources to the process, then you can note that the process is, or the execution of multiple process may lead to deadlocks. So if I consider this response graph, or this graph where we have process P1, P2, P3. P1 is waiting for the request R1, but P2 is using it. P2 to complete with R1 it needs R3, but P3 is utilizing it. To complete P3 it needs R2, which is utilized by P1 and P2. P2 will not complete before R2 released, before R3 released. P3 will not complete until R2 is released. P1 is not completed until R1 is released. So each and every process here is dependent on one another process in circular way. So this condition leads to deadlock. If I come to this graph where we don't have deadlocks, see, process 1 requires R1, but it is allocated to P2. Process 3 requires R2 and it is allocated with R1. P4 is allocated with R2. For P3, R2 is required, but P4 requires only R2. Once P4 completes its execution, it will be allocated to P3, and once P2 has completed its execution, it can be allocated to P1. So P1 and P3 can execute once P2 and P4 completes its execution. So there is no deadlock arised here. Multiple circular graphs or multiple loops in a graph leads to amount of deadlock is like the probability of deadlock depends on amount of circles or loops in the graph. I hope you understood these topics. Thank you.